Assalamu alaikum viewers and everybody out here. Here again, we come to our another book session. This marks the 10th session of our book club by Shared Beneficial, collaborated with Cafe X. And I'm thankful to everyone who's taken part in this journey to make this number from a single digit to a double digit and many more to come. We would start this book club with two of our book reviews today, one by myself and one by our active participant, an author, a young budding creative artist. People say, I would like to say a fairy, a young fairy with a lot of dreams, a lot of creativity, aspirations, and just evolving and navigating what she would do. So without much ado, I would like to pass the mic to the Serena to share her book review and share her thoughts and insights on that. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Miyodai Sarana, and today I'll be reviewing a book by Colin Hoover, and its title is It Ends With Us. This book is about finding the right partner, domestic violence and much more. ये एक बहुत ही simple story है, मगर इस simple story से हमें बहुत कुछ मिलता है. It starts with a little girl whose name is Lily. और उसके फादर की डेथ हुई होती है और उसके जो फादर है वो बहुत अब्यूजिव होते हैं उनकी मदर के रिलेटेड. नाउ जब उनका फ्यूनरल ख़त्म होता है तो लिली बालकनी में जाती है एंड देयर वो अपने थॉट्स को क्लियर करती है, जहाँ पे उनकी मुलाकात एक लड़के से होती है जिसका नाम होता है रायल. एंड रायल एक बहुत ही काइंड ऑफ सिग्मा बॉय एंड सख्त लौंडा, उसको फ्लिंग चाहिए होता है और लिली को एक सीरियस रिलेशनशिप चाहिए होती है. दे गेट अट्रैक्टेड टू ईच अदर बट एट द एंड जब उनको लगता है कि जो उनकी एम्स है टूवर्ड्स द रिलेशनशिप्स दे डिफरेंट, सो दे फाइनली दे डिसाइड टू सेपरेट. देन आफ्टर कम्प्लीटिंग हर ग्रेजुएशन लिली एक बिजनेस स्टार्ट करती है ऑफ सेलिंग फ्लावर्स और वहाँ पे वो रखती है एलिसा को, और एलिसा रायल की बहन है. एंड देयर वो फिर से रायल से इंट्रोड्यूस होती है और फिर जो रायल है फाइनली उसका वो सख्त लौंडा वाला एरा ख़त्म हो जाता है एंड ही फॉल्स फॉर हर. आफ्टर दैट व्हाट हैपेंस इज जो लिली है शी इज़ वेरी kind of preserved because of the relationship that she has saw from her father, mother, कैसे उसके father abusive है towards their mother. बट वट हैपन्स इज़ जब उनका रोमांस बिल्ड होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, उसको अचानक से ख्याल आ जाता है अपने एक्स का. आई थिंक हिज नेम वाज एटलस. और वो एटलस से मिली थी व्हेन शी वाज 15 years old एंड एटलस वाज अ होमलेस फेलो और उसने उसकी बहुत हेल्प की थी इन फाइंडिंग अ होम, गिविंग हर फाइनेंशियल हेल्प एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. आफ्टर दैट व्हाट हैपन्स इज एक बार क्या हो जाता है, इवेंचुअली व्हाट हैपन्स इज कि जो रायल है वो हर्ट कर जाते हैं लिसा को एंड सॉरी लिली को, एंड उसका वो सारा ऑल्दो इट वाज नॉट इंटेंशनल, गलती से हो गया था, बट उसका जो वो चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा था जो वो देखती थी उनके पेरेंट्स में क्या होता था, वो शी बिगेन टू रीलिव दैट एंड शी स्टार्टेड क्वेश्चनिंग हर डिसीजन, क्या उसको सच में ये कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए या नहीं. बट सीन कि जो रायल है वो अपॉलोजेटिक है टुवर्ड्स हिज बिहेवियर, वो कंटिन्यू कर जाती है इस चीज़ को. आफ्टर दैट वो एक रेस्टोरेंट विजिट करते हैं जहाँ पे उसकी मुलाकात होती है एटलस से, और जब वो देखती है कि एक बंदा जो बहुत सालों पहले होमलेस था वो आज उस रेस्टोरेंट का मालिक है, शी बिकम्स वेरी हैप्पी. बट एट दी एंड शी थिंक्स कि क्या ये वही क्लोजर है जो उसको चाहिए था एटलस के साथ, बट यहाँ से वो ये भी सोचती है कि जो उसका फ्यूचर है वो अब रायल के साथ है. देन जब वो देखता है लिली के हैंड पे देयर इज़ अ स्कार, तो उसको लगता है कि शायद वो भी डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस का शिकार हुई है और वो उसको उसकी मदर के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं. एटलस एंड लिली की मुलाकात वॉशरूम में एक्सीडेंटली हो जाती है जहाँ पे रायल व्हेन ही इनकाउंटर्ड कि वो दोनों बात कर रहे हैं, वो थोड़ा सा सस्पिशियस हो जाता है टुवर्ड्स देयर रिलेशनशिप। और घर जाके वो जब उससे पूछता है एंड वो ऑल ऑफ अ सडन वो लिली को पुश करता है डाउन द स्टेयर्स, एंड दिस मेड हर क्वेश्चन अगेन अबाउट हर डिसीजन। बट देन जो रायल है वो उसको समझाते हैं कि वो एंगर इशू से डील कर रहे हैं, और यहाँ पे वो कहते हैं ना बर्दाश्त, कि बर्दाश्त करना चाहिए लड़की को, अपनी रिलेशनशिप को बचाने के लिए कुछ भी करना चाहिए। बस लिली ने भी वही मिस्टेक कर दी, उसने अब इनका क्या कर दिया, इनको वापस से कनेक्ट कर लिया, कि बोला कि ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, आपके एंगर इशूज़ हैं, आई विल हेल्प यू इन दिस। तो एटलस उससे मिलने आता है उसकी फ्लावर शॉप पे, और इमरजेंसी के लिए उसके पास अपना नंबर दे जाता है। नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि जो रायल है वो लिली के फ़ोन में एटलस का नंबर देखता है, और वो उसकी पास्ट के बारे में जान गया होता है। नाउ बिफोर लिली स्टार्टेड टू एक्सप्लेन हर सेल्फ कि क्या हुआ था, व्हाट हैपेंड, वो ही स्टार्टेड रेपिंग हर एंड ही स्टार्टेड बीइंग अब्यूजिव टुवर्ड्स हर। वो इमरजेंसी में एटलस को कॉल करती है, जहाँ पे वो हॉस्पिटल जाते हैं, देयर शी फाइंड्स दैट शी इज़ प्रेग्नेंट, एंड वहाँ पे शी क्वेश्चंस कि क्या यही वो फ्यूचर है जो उसका बेबी डिज़र्व करता है। लेकिन उसने किसी को नहीं बोला, ये सोच के कि शायद जो सोसाइटी है, जो एनवायरनमेंट है, वो उसको इस चीज़ से मजबूर करेगी कि वो रायल के साथ वापस से वो रिलेशनशिप मेंटेन करे, वापस से रीबिल्ड करे। ना उसने ममा को बोला, ना एटलस को बोला, बट एट द एंड जब उसको लगा कि नहीं, आई डू नॉट वॉन्ट दिस फॉर माई चाइल्ड, एंड शी गिव बर्थ टू अ बेबी गर्ल, एंड देयर उसने डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के अंदर रायल को जो है उसको डिवोर्स दे दिया, एंड देन शी एक्सेप्टेड आफ्टर 11 months शी एक्सेप्टेड हर सिचुएशनशिप विथ एटलस, एंड देन शी kisses her daughter on the forehead and she says it ends with us। ये एक स्टोरी थी कि क्या डिफरेंस है बिटवीन हया और बर्दाश्त, कि कितना बंदे को बर्दाश्त करना चाहिए, व्हाट इज़ द रियल डेफिनेशन जो हम बोलते हैं हया के नाम पे, बंदा कितना कुछ सह जाता है कि नहीं ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, इट इज़ नॉट रियली रिक्वायर्ड। सो दिस वाज अ स्टोरी बाय मी, थैंक यू सो मच।
Such a beautiful book review by Odessa. It all ends with us, right? So, the idea to take away home or to wrap it around your head are three things what I could take out. Everyone has a takeaway from anything in life in a different form. Point number one, as much as you would like to deny and defy and escape, everything is linked to childhood. The way you behave, the way you respond, your scars, your struggle, the psychology around relationships, love, money, it is deep rooted in the growing years, and it is very, very tough to dissociate oneself from it, and at times it is not good to dissociate. When Lily could see that her father was a certain kind, she knew in the heart of hearts that she's not going to put up with it, but accidentally, because she was used to seeing such things and it was normalized in her childhood, she normalized it in her relationship. Point number one. Point number two is that whatever benefit of doubt she gave to Ryan, I'm not condoning just leaving a person for one mistake. I really don't. But one thing is there. There are exceptions, but if you want to gamble on exceptions, that's a choice you have to make. Most of the people, their basic nature, or in Urdu what we call the fitra, it is very tough to change. Unless there is a great transformation from life or from within. If you think that your love and your goodness and your behavior will change so and so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you're mistaken. And it's an exercise in futility, and do it at your own peril, please. Secondly, you forgive mistakes, someone is apologetic or something. First, I was talking about basic nature. So Ryle had a basic nature which couldn't change. He never wanted a serious relationship. He never wanted something like that, but he got into that because of an emotional drag. That is all temporary. So basic nature was. Secondly, a mistake is a mistake. You forgive mistakes, but you don't forgive patterns. He was getting into patterns, getting jealous unnecessarily, asking questions, pushing, and it started with violence, and the thing is that marriage and commitment, it doesn't fix problems, yours, it amplifies them. If I'm a good person or you are a good person, after marriage you become better, it increases. If I am abusive and I am violent and I am not a great person and I have some issues, once I get married and I'm into a commitment, it amplifies, it magnifies, because then you spend a lot of time. And I think it is their story, Lily and Ryan, and I think it must be a lot of people's story who are watching this and hearing it. I'm sure about it. At least at some point in life. Not always. Because most of the humans are similar. So having said that, coming back to Atlas's nature, he was always helpful, he was always kind, he was always there for her. And sure enough, he was there for her. His homelessness and his money didn't change him. He was there, what he was. And one more thing which we as adults forget and then want to convince ourselves with the promises and the compromises we make is that we are intuitive, especially women are intuitive. Lily knew that Atlas is the one for her. Atlas has always been there for her. But now I am here and I have committed and I have... No. Commitments which are pathological, which are dangerous, which are making you unhappy, have to be cut. Even your own limb, when it becomes poisonous and has gangrene, has to be amputated. Otherwise, the whole body suffers. So some decisions have to be taken. The sooner the better. Otherwise, life will force you after, going through a certain phase, struggling through a certain time, wasting certain time, and involving many lives and many people. So, it is a takeaway from this book that you decide, the sooner the better. Be intuitive of what you need, what is your prime need. Relate and understand everything with your childhood pattern. And of course you will feel bad, but don't get reduced by it. And the thing is that your past doesn't have to, equal to your future. A mathematical equation. Only it will become like that if you choose to live in it. Don't live in it. Move forward. That was my takeaway from her book. Now the book I would be reviewing today. It is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. This book needs no introduction. Arundhati Roy needs no introduction in most of the people's lives. She is a winner of the Booker Prize and a very controversial author when it comes to caste system and politics and secularism and discrimination against, especially us, against Muslims in this country. And she has been very brave and very, very militant about it. Militant just doesn't mean militant. Militant means, the literal meaning of militant, if you search on web, is something who is not in favor and strongly opposes something very avidly. So she's been very militant in expressing her opinions about caste system in India, about love, about relationships, about taboos in the society, including in one of her book, the Ministry of, what was it? The Ministry of External, no, what was it called? The Ministry of Happiness, or Unhappiness. So about these inanks which are there. So those misfits who don't tick mark all the things in life. So coming back to this book has almost everything for everyone. It talks about grief. It talks about grief in a different way. It talks about childhood traumas. It talks about love. It talks about how people go against you when it is none of their business for so-called societal norms and all, which sometimes leads to an end of a life or many lives and a waste of lives. Uh, so many layers in this book, but the main character are these twins, this brother and this sister, around whom this entire story rotates. Their mother and grandmother, their family is a family of women. Okay, although they have a father or a grandfather, but mostly the shots are called by women. They have a pickle factory in southern part of India. They're very decent and well-to-do, and they are upper caste Brahmins. Okay, and they have these lower caste Brahmins working for them. Yeah, and then as life goes, these twins are born to a mother who is separated from a man she loved, whom she thought she loved, and her parents opposed, but she's still married. And then there is a point when these twins are separated. You know, one goes to the father and one goes to the mother, and the trauma which they face is explained very beautifully, and it doesn't leave them even when they're adults. And then there is a grief. There are a couple of deaths in the story, wherein their cousin has come from abroad, Sophie Mole, and they are playing in the river, and they are very avid swimmers, and she gets drowned at night. And their mother, I think it's a story of every family household around. Their mother, who's an American, blames them for killing her child, which is very sad. And then how that trauma, that dead body, that white face lives with them for years and years and years, and they just can't come out of it. The story is about love. Love which was beautiful, and love which was forbidden, and love which started in a very different way. So these twins are born to a mother, as I told you, when they were young, and when she comes back after the separation from her husband, she's with her mother and her grandmother in the house, and now these all workers are working in the pickle factory. This lady knows this man, the guy who works in the pickle factory, since childhood. So he's an employee, an acquaintance, or whatever, since childhood. And when her children come back after the separation, they start playing with this lower caste employee or the member of the family. He's a very close member. He's like furniture, always around, but yes, then a lower caste. The love story starts surprisingly here, not between a man and a woman, but from a man to her children first, and then between a man. So a particular scene which I remember from this book is that the children are very fond of this guy who is their employee, and their mother is standing in the balcony, and they resemble their mother a lot. So he looks at the mother and he looks at the children, because he loves these children, as he's had a great bonding with them since long. And then he looks at the mother and he falls in love with her. Oh, she's just same as them. And then the rest is history. They find comfort with each other. They are just too good, and whatever void this woman had in terms of a partner and in terms of a father for their children, this man was everything except he was a lower caste Brahmin. And when the people got to know in the society, they were so opposite to this woman and him that he got killed. He got killed, and this woman left the village. Her children were there, and they had to face all these things. And then she died in some strange condition somewhere. And these kids also never could have a stable relationship, love and affection. And their society, knowing that they have separated family, lovers, or a father figure just for the sake of caste system or their so-called prudence of right and wrong. And this just doesn't include people who are illiterate or villagers. No, this included the entire law and order system, from police to lawyers and everything, who negated and supported the entire clan for this. So she speaks a lot about casteism still in India. And then among one of the twins, one goes to the US and the other guy is in the village. As I said, they could never settle down, and then these twins have a great bonding. And the sister comes back, and then the two of them are together, and they have a very miraculous feeling for each other. If one of them is not able to sleep, the other one gets up and knows that they come to the room, and before the person knocks, he or she opens the room. So she talks about God, she talks about her God, the God of small things. Who is this God of small things? And how big and small things are. And then these twins find solace and comfort with each other. This book talks about child abuse, this by adults. This book teaches about so many parameters. It's a holistic book. That is why it got the Booker Prize, I guess, of what a family, a person goes through because of society, because of their own emotions, and how right and wrong is actually not right and wrong. Things are subjective, and it is how we look at them. And happiness, when it is not at the cost of others, happiness and security and safety and stability should be given importance as compared to the petty norms. We have to. Our culture gives us structure, our culture gives us things which are there for us, and we love it, but there are some evils of our culture. It's strange to know that people are not using landlines, people are using gadgets, and they want to update and upgrade every now and then when it comes to their cars and assets and houses. But please, people, doesn't it have to upgrade here and here? Do we have to still live with those things? Do we still have to bear the evils and sins of our forefathers and not abolish them? Let's think about it. Leave them, divorce them, upgrade your system. Thank you, and all the best. So, everybody, we conclude this session today with just two but beautiful books. The quality is so high that quantity doesn't matter. And I thank you. I thank everybody here to be a part of it, for giving me an opportunity, for letting me speak, express my views, and share it with you. And all comments, suggestions, inputs are welcome. And we really value your time. We'll see you soon with more insights, more beliefs, more things. Thank you, and Assalamu alaikum.